Hello, welcome. Um, this video is on solving for an angle of a right triangle. And here at the proficient level, the only angle that we know is that we have one 90-degree right angle K here. So we want to find all three angle measures. We want to find either J or L first, and it doesn't matter. Um, let's mark J with a theta. We'll just put that little symbol there just so that we can recognize that's the angle we're looking for. We're going to look for angle J first. And then we would mark all of the sides. This is the hypotenuse. The one opposite the angle that we're looking at is just that. It's the opposite leg. And then the one right next to it is the adjacent leg. And because those are the two that we have, I'm going to circle those so that I recognize I'm going to deal with O and A. In fact, if you wanted to, you could just even only label the two that you know. I know this one is 7. I know this one's 14. So I may not even decide to label the hypotenuse just so that I can focus on what I do know, which is the opposite of the hypotenuse. And so then we go back to the mnemonic that we're using this during this unit quite a lot is so. I like to write it like this, ka, like this, and then toa, so ka toa, and then I just say, well, if I've got O and I've got A, there's only one in here that has O and A. That's the T, and that's the tangent. And so then I know how to write my equation that I can use to solve this. So the tangent, and then here I could put the tangent of J or the tangent of theta, whatever you'd like. It works the same either way. We'll go ahead and leave it as the tangent of theta. The tangent of theta then is equal to the opposite, O, which is 14, over A, which is 7. And then we're going to, so the tangent of some angle is 14 over 7. And so now we're going to use the inverse tangent. The inverse tangent looks like this. You see it like this in your calculator. It is also called the arc. Oops, here. It is also called the arc tangent. And now some calculators, you might see that. The calculators that we use for the most part at Copper Hills will see this. We'll say that on the calculator. But they mean the same thing. Arc tangent and the inverse tangent are the same thing. And they are the inverse operation. So it's kind of like to undo addition, we use subtraction, or to undo multiplication, we do division, and vice versa. The opposite of squaring is taking the square root. Well, the opposite of the tangent of some angle is the inverse tangent. And when you have the inverse tangent of some tangent ratio, it gives you the angle. And so if tangent of theta is 14 over 7, theta is the inverse tangent of 14 over 7. And then we want this to be in angles. And so it's just a quick word of warning here. When we reset our calculators, like you would before a test, we do second plus and then 7, 1, 2, and it clears the memory. But if you notice, we'll follow my cursor up here, it reset the angle measure to radians. The default setting on these calculators is radians. And so you want to go back and press mode, and then you move down, see where it says radian and degree here. If we move down, to radians and then over to degrees, you want to make sure that your calculator is set to degrees. Otherwise, you're going to get some answer. It's not going to really make sense to you. So first, always check, make sure that it says degrees. Now that I've selected that, up at the top, it now says degrees again. And I can just do second and then mode again for quit. And it takes me back to this menu. And once again, right here, you can see that it's in degrees. So we're doing the second, and then right above the tangent, you can see the inverse tangent. And it gives us that inverse tangent of, I believe it was 2. Oops, let's go back there. And let's just double check. No, sorry, 14 over 7, but that is 2. But just so you know, we can go back and it doesn't matter how you put it in there. If I put 14 divide by 7, it would give me that 63.43. And I can also just do, let's just do it again. If I just, you know that 14 divided by 7 is 2, that would give you the same value. Okay, just to check here. Now, this does not specify what to round to, so I'm just going to round to the nearest degree. But pay close attention to what your instructions tell you. So to the nearest degree, 63, because the next digit is a 4, it rounds down to 63. So it's approximately, theta then is approximately equal to 63 degrees. And so we'll write that in here, and we know theta is J, so that's 63 degrees. And K, we already knew was 90 degrees because of this symbol here. And there's that. And then L, here we're just going to use the triangle sum theorem. And I explained that in the previous video, so if that doesn't make sense, watch that video. That will just be 180 minus 63 minus 90, and that will give us 183 minus 63 minus 90 gives us 27. And so this is 27 degrees. And that's what L is. Ok. Ahora en español. En este problema nos han pedido que encontremos todos los ángulos, pero lo único que teníamos era el ángulo recto. Entonces, si el ángulo recto es este, podemos escribirlo, que K es igual a 90 grados. Y de ahí tú puedes escoger, no importa entre este ángulo marcado como J o ese como L, tú puedes agarrarlo como quieras. Pero yo puse este ángulo Z ahí para mostrar de que ese es lo que estoy buscando. Y por ese ángulo mostré de que ese es el lado opuesto y este es el lado adyacente. Y esto entonces será la hipotenusa. Y puesto que yo sé que el adyacente es 7 y yo sé que el opuesto es 14, pero yo no sé cuál es la hipotenusa. A veces ni siquiera lo marco y así puedo enfocarme en lo que yo sé, A y O. Entonces, si vamos a nuestro mnemonic, se dice en inglés, ayuda que nos ayuda, esa palabrita que nos ayuda a recordar las razones trigonométricas. Ca, toa, lo único que tiene O y A es toa. Entonces, ese es el tangente. Entonces, escribimos la ecuación. El tangente de Z es O sobre A y O es 14 y A es 7. Entonces, ahí esa ecuación podemos resolverlo. Y como hemos dicho en varias ocasiones, lo opuesto de sumar es restar, lo opuesto de multiplicar es dividir, lo opuesto de elevar algo al cuadrado es raíz cuadrado. Bueno, lo opuesto de las razones trigonométricas como tangente es el inverse tangente, el tangente inverso. Entonces, a veces ese inverse tan también lo verás escrito como arctan. Y lo mismo aplica para lo de sine, arcsine o cosine. Y el inverse cosine, y lo verás escrito ese como arc cosine o arc sine o arc tangent. Y es lo mismo que eso de inverse cosine, inverse sine o inverse tangent. Y para deshacer entonces lo que tenemos aquí, encontrar el tangent de algún ángulo es razón trigonométrica, 14 sobre 7. Cuando haces el inverse tangent, estás diciendo a la calculadora qué ángulo tiene esta medida de razón trigonométrica. 14 sobre 7. Entonces, lo que hay que tener cuidado es cuando lo estás haciendo en la calculadora, de que tiene que chequear de que esté en grados. Está en, que dice degrees, tiene que estar en grados. Y si no está, puedes cambiarlo en este botón Mode y vas abajo donde dice radian degree y moverlo de moverlo de uno al otro. Está seleccionado degree, lo ves aquí y también aquí arriba. Y para cambiarlo simplemente presiones Enter. Entonces lo cambio otra vez a degrees. Ves ahora que dice radians acá arriba. Pero lo pongo otra vez en degrees y puede salir con este segundo mode para quit es salir. Y ya lo pones ese inverse tangent de 14 sobre 7 da 63, o si reconoces de 14 sobre 7 es igual que 2, el inverse tangent de 2 es 63 también igual. Entonces lo escribimos y lo pasamos que J, vamos a ponerlo en amarillo, la J ahí es lo que encontramos, 63 grados. Y ahora reconocemos de que lo que hicimos en el video anterior, en este de Approaching Proficient, aplica aquí. Si restamos 63, y restamos 90, nos da de 180, porque la suma total de los tres ángulos de cualquier triángulo se suma a 180. Entonces, si se le resta los dos que sabes, te da el tercero. Entonces, esto, L, es, no es 63, perdón, es 27. Y eso se suman, esos tres se suman a 180. Entonces, eso es.